Thanks very much, Concorda. I just want to make a few comments in relation to what's happening in relation to gambling. And quite recently, I'm not somebody that gambles. I might play cards, but I don't back horses. But I had to go into a bookie's office one day recently. I seen somebody go in. I wanted to go in and see them. And I went into the to the bookie office, and I couldn't believe what I was looking at. There's about 20 televisions ongoing all the time, racing from all over the world, dogs, horses, whatever, and football matches and different types of things going on from all over the world. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing, quite honestly. And I know that there's people there are people who take a punt, all right, and you know, they go for lucky 15s and things. I hear about these things, and sometimes they're lucky, sometimes they're not. But there are certainly people gambling today that can't afford to be gambling. I think we all realise that, and I think that there should be help there to support those people, because I'm aware of cases where families, quite honestly, where families have been wiped out because of a partner in a family gambling, and particularly gambling online, which is very, very serious. We've seen businesses, I've seen families destroyed. I've seen businesses that people had worked extremely hard to build up, wiped out practically overnight because it's too late when the other spouse hears about it. The damage is done, it's gone too far. The banks move in and the business are taken, and that's what's happened. And I've noticed that myself. And then you see on the advertising ads, then when the fund stops, stop gambling. Well, that's the greatest joke of all times, quite honestly, because that isn't happening, and it won't happen. And there should definitely be some responsibility on the industry itself. Now, we've heard of cases where you hear of the major case where an individual has gambled hundreds of thousands, and the next thing they're in court, and we hear these people, and we see them on television, and we hear them on the radio, but we don't hear of the other cases, quite honestly. But when we speak about those people that we see on television and hear on the radio, those people have gambled, as I said, hundreds of thousands. Nobody shouted stop. And I'm sure that the industry itself must be aware, when there's a tendency of a particular person gambling €1,000 a week that they can't afford. Nobody can afford that, quite honestly. I don't care what salary you're on. Nobody can afford it. And there doesn't seem to be any system in place to spot this and to do something to try and stop and sort of resolve an issue, or at least identify or report to a particular bookie office, wherever they're spending their money, to try and deal with that before it's too late. That's not happening. There is no regulation, as far as I can see, or nobody cares, quite honestly, within the industry as to what number of families are destroyed, or what number of businesses are lost, or the amount of hardship and that it causes to many, many families. I welcome whatever changes can be made, whatever can be done in relation to this. And this online gambling, I understand, is going to be taxed, because at the moment I don't think there's any tax coming off that industry. Maybe if there might be a little bit more regulation. But it's important that there is responsibility put on the industry, that where people are gambling a certain amount per week, and I know they can go into different bookie offices and everything else, but they're smart enough to know if there's a certain trend in a certain area, to know that there's a problem there, and it should be identified and that person helped. Thank you, Concorda.